It's between bets. It's our week 4 NFL betting cards. Make sure you guys are tapping into the channel, subscribing if you're new. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy this type of content. And in week 3, first NFL weekend in the red for me, guys. 2-6 on the picks. Lost a lot on that CeeDee Lamb injury. I mean, lost 3 units on him. Had him for the anytime touchdown contest. Had him for an anytime TD for 2 units. I was also heavy on him for a parlay as well, so that one hurt. Did hit the Ashton Jeanty over 15.5 rushing attempts for 2 units, and the Cam Scadaboo 10+ rushing attempts for 2 units as well, even money. Eric, how's the betting card for you in week 3?
Pretty tough scene. 2 and 3 in the money line spread and totals market. 1 of 4 in the props market. My Joe Flacco pass attempts ladder finally came crumbling down. But it was all saved and revived by one of my favorite traditions, targeting backup quarterbacks and parlaying their interception with an their opposing defenses to score an anytime touchdown.
Wow.
We binked that both on Jake Browning for plus 850 and on Tyrod Taylor for plus 1,200 at a quarter unit each. So all that was wrong with the world is made up for by my backup F-up parlays.
Steve, what about you, man?
I broke even.
Okay. All right. Well, we're getting there, man. You had some good plays. I questioned you on a couple of your spreads, and you went out there, and the frisky Jets kept it frisky. So let's get back into it. Let's keep swinging here in week number 4. We're seeing the field all right now. So let's see if we can get it even better here. What do you have, Eric? Starting with you in the ATS market.
Yeah, there's a lot that I like in the ATS market and really in the ATS and Moneyline market to start the week. The one that jumps out to me is the Seattle Seahawks laying 1.5 on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. ESPN bet has given this to you over at plus 199. So absolutely love the price tag that you can get that over there in what looks to be a bit of a promotional rate. But the Seattle Seahawks are a legitimate top to bottom team. And the Arizona Cardinals simply cannot get out of their own way, right? So, being able to get a Seahawks team at just laying 1.5 when the Cardinals feel like they, despite their record, are one of the biggest paper tigers in the NFL feels like a bit of a gainer to me.
Okay, and Steve, you have a play on the underdog of all underdogs here against the spread. What do you got down there in the Big Easy?
Yeah, this is a stupid spread. Like, this is dumb. Give me 16.5 points for the New Orleans Saints against the Buffalo Bills. No professional football game should have a 16.5 point spread. This is goofy. This is a goofy number of points. Like, that's insane. And I know the Saints just got, like, dog walked this week, but, like, that doesn't happen very often in the NFL. It really doesn't. Usually teams get up by a gazillion, even if they're up by like 28 points, right? All that takes is for them to like kind of throw it into cruise control for the fourth quarter. The Saints throw up 2 touchdowns. All of a sudden they win by, 15, 14 points and they cover the spread. If you're giving me, usually my rule is if there's a double digit spread, I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Steve, you also have feelings on this game out there in Dublin where I have no interest in getting invested, but you are liking some potential action down there on Vikings Steelers.
I do, because defense travels, and the Minnesota Vikings, they got a defense because Brian Flores, like I said, is a lunatic, and there's not enough offensive weapons in Pittsburgh to counteract it. The offensive line isn't good enough. Aaron Rodgers isn't mobile enough. This might be a day that we watch Aaron Rodgers just get absolutely like pummeled into the ground, or shillelagh'd, as they say over there in good old Ireland. I got the Vikings all day long, every day, plus Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be kind of a dog walk as well, I think.
Eric, you're seeing this a different way, though.
Yeah, I am. I think this is a bit of an overcorrection. I actually have Minnesota coming back to earth a fair bit, right? I think that the Steelers are a competitive defense. I don't think that Minnesota is quite what we saw them to be last week. And in turn, I actually have the Steelers on the money line. I like getting plus 130 for them in a game that I think is going to be fairly competitive and should probably come down to the last drive of the game. So give me the plus money with the Steelers over there in Ireland.
You also have another live money dog here you're betting.
Yeah. In this case, looking at the home doggies, those being the Kansas City Chiefs again, plus 130 on the money line via our friends over at DraftKings, coming against the Baltimore Ravens, who, while their offense has looked pretty dynamic, have found their ways into some pretty close games against competitive teams so far. I'm really trying to take advantage of some closing line action. I think that if we find out that Xavier Worthy is playing, for example, this number is going to change dramatically. So I want to get in now while you can still get plus 130 for the Chiefs at home.
And Steve, you also have a money line play. You're taking us to the Thursday night affair, Seattle, Arizona.
Yeah, Eric and I are really weirdly oppositional this week in our bets because I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals to win outright against the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks are as good as they appear, and I think the Cardinals are better than we think. And Trey Benson gets the start this week, which means their more dynamic, explosive running back is there.
Surprise.
To kind of carry the load here. I like it. I like an infusion of energy, and I always think that, and this feels like a game, and I'm going to say this, and y'all are going to be like, oh my God, it happened. This is a get right game for Marvin Harrison right here. I'm sure he's heard it.
I think this is accurate.
I think this is going to be a real revenge game for him. We're going to see like flashes of the guy that we thought we were getting this game, and Seattle's going to have no way to combat that.
Man, these are two games I want nothing to do with, honestly. Like, short week for the Seahawks and the Cardinals after pretty physical Sunday games, and then I just don't want anything to do with the Steelers and Minnesota. These are two teams who haven't played a ton overseas, and I just don't want to get invested with them.
The Cardinals also, as an athlete, like or an ex-athlete, I guess, but when you lose a leader to an injury, there is a galvanization that happens amongst the people. You kind of get depressed in the moment, but then you start to do it for James kind of deal. Like, so James Conner goes down. This team is going to try to rally around that, and they may come out with some fire in their ass this game.
Okay. And Eric, you also have a play for us when it comes back to the total market.
Yeah, going to the complete other end of the schedule, looking at one of the Monday night tilts, the Jets, and the Miami Dolphins are currently rocking a 44.5 point total. This is probably because at various points this season, their offenses have looked a little bit anemic, but their defenses are fertile ground. Miami, the worst team in the league, allowing 32.3 points per game. The Jets not far off there, 31 points flat allowed by their defenses. We also, I believe, we get good news on Justin Fields, who has an extra day to make his way back from concussion protocol, are probably going to see this number walk up to 45.5, 46.5 or more. So happy to take it at the over at 44.5. On my personal card, I'm probably going to be teasing this one out and looking at some alt totals as well.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I'm going to the player props market, guys. I have had the most success in this market than I have really in a couple years. I've been seeing the field well there as compared to the game line. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here. These are not official plays. I don't have these set in stone yet. We do not have these lines open, but these are ones I'm currently leaning on and hope to play if I get the right numbers. Again, follow me on socials at between_SethFF. Join the IBT football family. Again, you'll get my full card as we head into the weekend here. First, give me TreVeyon Henderson on the over rushing attempts. I think the Patriots have to use him after the fumbles to Stevenson and Gibson last week. BP consensus line right now, they're showing that they think it's going to open up closer to 6.5. Right now, Henderson was averaging 6.3 carries per game after 11 last week. He's playing the Panthers, who have allowed the third most rushing yards this season at a 5.7 yards per carry clip. So if this is truly, New England area, Boston in the fall, they're going to want to lean on that ground game. And whether it's the rushing attempts or if I can get that rushing yards mark back where it's been the last couple weeks at 25.5, I'll take one of those on TreVeyon Henderson to have a little bit better of a run out than he has the first couple weeks. Also, give me Ray Davis over on the rushing attempts or the rushing yards. I've seen the internet. I know he was a very popular play last Thursday night. Did not come through for a lot of people who had him in a parlay. But look, I think the Bills got more than what they bargained for against the Dolphins, and that game was very close. So Ray Davis remained on the shelf a lot like in week 1 when they had a tight one against the Ravens. In week 2, though, when they were blowing out the Jets, Ray Davis got 9 totes for 24 yards. BP has this line projected right around 5.5 attempts, 20.5 yards. This might be a parlay for both of them, honestly, if you can get those numbers. The Saints have allowed game logs to the following backup running backs, gentlemen. 6 for 69 to your boy, Trey Benson, Steve. Brian Robinson also went 6 for 20. Seattle's Seahawks running backs, yes, these are real players. Jarcadia Wright went for 5 for 20, and George Holani 10 for 27. So the point is here, I think the Bills get out in front. I think they're controlling this one. I think they give James Cook a bit of a rest. I think it's Ray Davis who bats cleanup for him. And then also give me a little Ashton Jeanty on the over receptions. BP, again, projection this line right around 2.5. I would take that there. If we can even, potentially drink some juice, get it at 1.5, I would do that as well. I said it earlier in the program. This is the Joe Boo game for Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders have to realize they need to use him in the passing game. We need screens. We need designed RPOs for this guy because their line's bad, and they need to try to overcome that with some quick outs to someone like Ashton Jeanty, who is a great receiver as well as a good running back. So 4 running backs have currently hit this line against the Bears this season. Yes, we've only had 3 games. Aaron Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs, and last week, Javonte Williams had 5 receptions, and Miles Sanders also had 3 receptions as well. So those are my plays right there for you this week. In addition, let's get to the touchdown call contest, guys. And we're updating the board here. Shout out to our guy, Trav has been absolutely crushing it this year. Trav has 7 touchdown calls correct right now. Jake Perry with 6. Steve stays at 4. Rob stays at 4. I'm at 3, so not much movement for Steve, Rob, and I. We all missed out last week. Eric with 3. He got 2 from Jordan Mason last week. James Danielson back on the board with 3. Ben with 2. Tyler and Trash bringing up the rear with 1 each. Guys, if you want to get invested with the touchdown call contest, a reminder, the easiest way to do so, join the IBT football family. You're going to get access to our Discord community where you can ask us questions all day long. So if we don't get to any of them when we're live on the channel, we'll make sure we can get to them over there in the chat 24/7, 365. You can also enter our memorabilia giveaways, and you're going to get our full weekly betting cards. Eric and Steve's plays for NFL and my plays for NFL and college football. And you're going to get access into this touchdown call contest where you can win yourself a sweet Dynasty Dex plaque for yourself. And let's go ahead and get to the touchdown call contest. Steve, over to you. Who do you got, man?
Oh, and in a shock to everybody, in his first start of his career, give me Trey Benson, anytime touchdown, going off at plus 100 over there over at DraftKings. I've been so excited for Trey Benson to get the work. I wish it didn't happen this way. I'm not victory lapping an injury, so before everyone gets all mad about it, I feel bad for James Conner. But I can also be excited for Trey Benson and what he's going to do. He's an explosive runner with opportunity. He will find a hole. I expect him to get into the end zone this week. And then my second guy is a rookie right here at home. Give me TreVeyon Henderson, anytime touchdown. Listen, the ball is hitting the ground at an absurd rate for Ramondre Stevenson. The time has come to hand the keys to the kingdom to the young fella and get him in the end zone any way you can, whether that's through the air or the ground. I don't care how he does it, but the great thing is he's able to do it either way, if not both in this game. I could see a multiple touchdown game out of TreVeyon Henderson this week if he gets the opportunity, which he should, because Mike Vrabel does not tend to handle fumbles very well.
Eric, over to you for your TD calls.
Yeah, going with another rookie to take full advantage of his expanded opportunity, that being Omarion Hampton. Over at Bet365, he is minus 115 to score a touchdown. We know how much Greg Roman loves to run the ball and facilitate the offense through the ground game. Also, we're looking at a game script that is very, very favorable for the LA Chargers. They're one of the largest favorites or heaviest favorites on the board. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're seeing Omarion Hampton find his way into the box for 2 scores. And then a little bit longer odds, Harold Fannin Jr. You can get him at plus 350 again at bet 365. A lot of this is me planting my flag that I think that this type of usage for both tight ends is very legitimate. The Browns are still the second in the league in terms of snaps or plays run out of 12 personnel. They also pass out of that formation more than anyone else in the league. 72% of the time that they are in 12 personnel, they are passing the ball. You need only look back to last week to see Mark Andrews scoring ample touchdowns to know that coming up against the Detroit Lions is a great opportunity for your tight end to find the end zone.
For me, keeping it on brand as Steve is here. Ashton, Jeanty, Anytime TD, minus 135 at DraftKings.
All the youngsters.
Look, man, this is a situation. We called it the Joe Boo game. I think Jeanty shows up here. And against the Bears, they have allowed 3 different running backs to score this season, the 3rd most rushing yards to the position as well, 121 yards per game, the 6th most fantasy points. I think Jeanty can continue to grind out, get scores here, and chip away at that 10-plus touchdown ticket I placed in the offseason at plus 225 for quite a few units. I also take Keenan Allen for an anytime touchdown, plus 225 right now at bet 365. Look, the Giants, they've allowed 4 touchdowns to opposing wide receivers so far this season, at least 1 in each game as well, and it's usually not that X receiver. We did see George Pickens, GP, go up and get one last week, but it's usually the position who's running out of the flanker or even the slot. We've seen Debo do it. We've seen Turpin do it for the Cowboys. We've seen Thornton do it for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Keenan currently 4th in the red zone with targets with 6 of them, 46.2% target share when he gets inside the 20. He's also caught a touchdown in 3 straight games for the Los Angeles Chargers. And if you go back last year when he played with the Bears, 7 of his last 10 games, he has found the painted area. So give me Keenan Allen and Ashton Jeanty to get back on the board. Steve's riding with Trey, Benson, and Henderson. Eric going with a couple of rookies as well. Harold Fannin Jr. and Omarion Hampton. Boys, let's hope it's a big weekend for the rookies.